Hi, I'm Chris James, and today I'm going to be talking about my DR96 protocol so far, what I've experienced, all of the madness. I'm going to bring you guys up to speed. If you guys have been enjoying the content I've been putting out for the past couple of weeks, going day and day again, even with me dry fasting and even with all the madness going on, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. So we're going to break down the weight loss. Okay, we're going to talk about how much weight I lost and how that all played out. We're going to talk about my health scare. What happened with this dust storm? What's going on? We're going to give you guys some real-time updates, tools, and tips to help you. Okay, so if you guys have been doing the DR96, this video is basically for you. And if you want to get into dry fasting, I think this is just going to be very educational. So the first thing I want to touch, why did I decide to start doing the dry fasting with the challenge? Why did I decide to join? I don't do every single challenge, okay? If I did, I'd weigh 100 pounds. So I typically do challenges once or twice a year. I wanted to make sure that I was tapped in on this challenge because we are shifting. We're transitioning away from water fasting only to talking about dry fasting content. And I just wanted to make sure that I was touching base with the process. Also, I felt like, okay, if I'm doing it with you guys, I'll have real-time updates and tips I can give you. At the end of the day, I do look at myself as a leader, and I want to be the type of person that doesn't just talk the talk, but walks the walk. So every year I do a fast, a specialty fast. In the past year, I have not done that. I had a really, really rough year last year, a lot of stress and pressure on me, and I just didn't do it, right? So I wanted to get myself back on track. I wanted to, look, I gained maybe about 2 pounds over the past year. And this is actually part of my own personal maintenance package. You want to stay on top of your weight. So once you guys get to your weight, you're maintaining. Once a year, you want to do a fast. Make sure you scoop up all that extra weight and then put it back in the dumpster. And that way you stay at a nice baseline. This is a great way to do that, all right? Now, full transparency. We got the DR96, we do a prep, we do the fasting cycle, we do the refeed. My prep was a little different from how I teach you guys, not because I've never done the prep the way I teach it, but because when I do dry fasting, I lose an enormous amount of weight. You guys can actually go watch my most recent video where I talk about losing 20 pounds in 4 days with dry fasting. If you guys want to learn more about my video where I lose 20 pounds in 4 days, I will leave a card so you guys can check that out. So because of the amount of weight I lose in short periods of time with dry fasting, and knowing that I'm about to do basically 2 weeks of dry fasting, I didn't want to I didn't want to start my prep losing weight already, because our prep will cause you to lose weight. Okay, you guys need to understand that. We've already had people saying that they've lost anywhere from 12 to 20 pounds. No, we had one guy say that he had lost 30 pounds, okay? So the prep is crazy. Okay, so we're gonna kick this ball off. I lost 7 pounds before any dry fasting even started. So I guess my plan really didn't work to not lose weight leading up to the dry fasting. So part of our preparation at the end, we do 2 days of juice. Now during that time, you drink lots of juice in order to keep the caloric intake up. I will be honest with you guys and tell you, I always struggle with drinking a ton of juice, not because I have like a small capacity. It's just simply, I just don't be hungry, y'all. It'll just be to a point where I'm just trying to force myself. Part of the reason why I have you guys do the juice is to help transition those who are beginners, right? So if you're a beginner to fasting, you're used to eating processed foods, you're gonna feel hungry on those prep days. And I say juice feast. Make sure to flush your system out, get that caloric intake, and it's very helpful. But for me, it's a challenge. I did drink my juice, but I didn't drink as much as I probably recommend. So I would say that was probably that played a role in losing 7 pounds before the dry fasting ever even started. But in general, look, at the end of the day, the whole process is so freaking efficient. I can't even escape the weight loss. And so that's basically what happened leading up to the first day of dry fasting. Let's get into this dust storm. Recently in the United States, we've been seeing people talk about some mysterious fog that has been like going in the cities, okay? This mysterious fog, I believe, has chemicals in it that are harmful to the body. I'll just leave it at that. Now, we didn't see a mysterious fog, not here in Texas where I'm at least. But last week, probably on Wednesday, we got a crazy dust storm. And the only reason I knew about it was because I researched what's going on with the Dallas sky, because in Dallas that day, it was a blanket. It was not a cloud. I could tell it was not a cloud. It was just a pure blanket. And I'm like, what is that? You know, my mind instantly went to the fog, but apparently it was a dust storm that happened hundreds of miles away. Now, I talked to my coaches about it, and one of my coaches was like, dust storm. Yeah, that sounds like an official story, right? And maybe there was an actual dust storm, right? That doesn't mean that there wasn't extra stuff being put into the dust. I'm just saying, maybe it was just the dust, but it resulted in those of us around me in my close circle getting like mucus, congested, feeling weak and dizzy and low energy, okay? Now, obviously, I'm getting ready to start this dry fast. Now, my body typically does respond better than others, so I didn't expect to get sick. I'd be cocky about it, I'm not gonna lie. But I started getting congested. You guys might have noticed in some of my other videos, my voice was hoarse. I have a lot of mucus, and all of this is leading up to like dry fasting. I also had a tickle in my throat, which is absolutely terrible for when you're about to start dry fast. This is all bad. A dust storm is absolutely terrible. I could have said, you know what, I'm just not going to do the dry fast. A lot of people ask me, hey, Chris, if I get sick before I start my fasting, should I stop? And I always encourage them to continue doing their fast. Now, typically, we're talking about a water fast. We're not talking about a dry fast. If someone came to me and was telling me, hey, Chris, I've got these issues, I'm about to do a dry fast, should I continue? I would probably tell you maybe switch to water or juice. But I like to push the envelope. So I decided to do the dry fasting anyway. And it's been rough. It's been rough. Now, I'll tell you the first day, because technically I'm on day 2 currently. So the weight loss, the 11 pounds that I've lost up until this point is basically the preparation and the first day of dry fasting. But remember, I didn't prep proper, like the way I made sure to eat larger, heartier portions. I still ate the same food, but I just ate a little more to keep me from losing weight. That's all. But so my weight loss is basically from the last 2 days of the prep and the first day of the dry fast. So you can see how freaking powerful dry fasting is, because it's just, the weight loss is crazy. I can't keep it from falling off of me. Now, the actual first day of my dry fast, I felt good. I actually was patting myself on the back for creating such an incredible protocol. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was proud of myself. I was like, this protocol is amazing because I feel good in spite of everything going on. Energy was good, everything was good to go, okay? Now, as I started working into day 2, I noticed that my 20-hour work days were starting to take a toll. Yes, unfortunately, even though I would recommend that you guys do not work 20 hours on dry fast days, life is still lifing. And so I'm in the mix of it. I'm making sure to get content out. It's been rough. And talking takes a lot of energy when you fast, and even more when you dry fast. So I don't even want to talk right now. Like, I really want to give y'all the hand, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, talk to the hand, okay? Because I'm not really having it right now, but we here anyway. So I started to feel a little fatigue, and I made sure to get some good sleep after my 20-hour workday. So a real-time tip is to make sure to take naps if you need to. Try to reduce your workday if you can, if you're working 20 hours for sure. If you feel sluggish, one thing you could do that I've noticed, if you're laying down and you're just trying to rest all day, you're going to feel more sluggish. The best thing you could do is actually get up and move around. I actually remember thinking this when I very first started dry fasting. I was still an electrician at the time, and I noticed that if it was the weekend, if I didn't have to work, I'm laying down, I felt more bogged down, versus on the days when I would work, I would get around, I'd move, I'm out in the sun, I'm breathing fresh air. That seemed to help me a lot. So in spite of what you might think, moving around, doing a little light exercise might actually help get the blood flowing and make you feel a little bit better. So today I decided to run some errands, just get out the house, get some sun, get some air. Don't overdo it. Balance is important, right? If you feel ill or whatever, you push yourself too much, we always talk about having some infused water available. Get yourself a gallon of water, infuse it with lemon, mint, whatever, oranges, whatever you like. You pull the fruit out after 4 hours, and then you just have it waiting, okay? If you feel like you need it, you take a little sip. Listen, it's okay. This is going to do minimum damage to your process, all right? It's going to set you back a little bit. Yes, it will, but that's exactly what we want to do in order to mitigate some of the detox symptoms we're feeling. Now, as far as detox symptoms for me, like I said, my energy has been a little lower as we complete. Now that I'm recording this, we're getting to the end of day 2, so my energy was a little lower today. I'm definitely interested in like fruit and water, but I have no hunger pangs, no headaches, nothing else going on. So this is one of the benefits of dry fasting. You have very different detox symptoms. Now I want to talk about some tools that I used and we promote in our prep to make sure that we have great, fasting sessions. I mentioned that you need to be wearing a Castor Pack each night leading up to your dry fasting. We don't wear it while we're dry fasting, but leading up to the dry fast, we wear the Castor Pack. That'll cleanse the liver. That'll make sure it's functioning more optimally. Better detoxification, less detox symptoms. Clean slate. When you start prepping, okay, we've seen people are losing, 12 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. You're detoxing even though you're prepping. So clean slate goes in, cleans up all that environmental contaminant, heavy metals, whatever's in your system that's being kind of stirred up, and it ushers it out of the system. Once again, less detox symptoms. Okay, we've got the appetite suppressant tea. So for those who struggle with appetite, you're trying to transition from hard, dense processed foods to light, watery fruit juice and fruit and high water content foods. Appetite suppressant tea is the king to make sure that you're just having a good transition. All right. Now, definitely the SP6 patch. I noticed that on day 5 of the prep, my bowels had started to slow down. So I put the SP6 patch on and made sure to get my bowels moving. Okay. So the SP6 patch helps with upregulating your endocrine system, your digestive system, your bowels, right? Getting your bowels moving. So, you guys can use that throughout the entire prep in order to make sure that you are moving your bowels as you're releasing toxins and things in your system. So those are some tools. I'll leave the links to those in the description and in the comment section. So I was thinking, what if somebody is afraid to do the DR96? Like, what would I tell them? What advice would I give them? Well, first of all, I'd say don't go from 0 to DR96, okay? Let's start with something lighter. So what I've done is I've got 2 different prep guides. I've got the intermittent dry fasting guide and I have the DR48. If either one of those resonates better with you, go try those first. The second thing I would say is fast with us first. If you're going to do your DR96, you're nervous, fast with the experts, fast with the professionals. Get the full DR96 guide, follow it explicitly, and that way you can make sure you have the best experience possible. All right. Now, both of the free guides are available on AHA communities. So you just go into AHA communities. They will be in the featured post area, or if you guys have trouble finding it, you can always ask someone for help. Okay. Now, later on this week, I'm going to be following up this stream with another update. We will be finished with our first cycle of the dry fasting. We will be refeeding. I'm going to talk about how much weight I gained back during the week, refeed, and all of that type of stuff. So if you're interested in watching that, that will be coming up at the end of the week. If you guys are interested in trying the DR96, drop a comment in the comment section. I'm curious to know who's interested in doing it, maybe who's afraid of doing it. What have you guys been doing? What have you been experiencing? If you guys are in the DR96 challenge, talk about what you have experienced. I would love to hear it, and we can share it with the greater audience here on the channel. So I want to say the DR96 is not just about weight loss. It's about transformation. It's full body, it's full being. We're talking spiritual, mental, energetic, physical. It is a full transformation. You get so much benefit in such a short period of time. So don't be afraid. Let's just build our fasting muscle. Let's get used to the protocols and let's attack it. All right. As always, the application of knowledge is power, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.